So, what does me, standing on a farm with some chickens, have to do with students learning English, writing and grammar? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Damien Herlihy, one of Pavilion ELT's vloggers. And in this series, we've been focusing on the internet as a virtual textbook for our English students. In this episode, we'll be looking at how we can help our students look at grammar from a different perspective. Instead of looking for rules, they'll be looking for reasons to guide their writing. So, why was I hanging out with some chickens at the start of this episode? Well, back in 2000, Scott Thornbury coined the term grammar McNuggets, which refers to grammar being artificially packaged into bite-sized chunks and served up in the classroom. Since that time, things have changed slowly, with teachers adapting materials and trying to put more bone, gristle and meat back into their grammar lessons, and some even going full dogma with some free-range chickens. One of my favourite books about grammar that looks to give more context is the book From Rules to Reasons by Danny Norrington Davies. It's definitely more free-range than nugget. I'm going to give you an introduction to Danny's grammar approach and look at a range of activities your students could be doing outside of the classroom with writing in English. So let's get into the meat of the rules to reasons approach. What is the difference between a rule and a reason? Well, rules tell us how to use a certain form. They help students make decisions about accuracy and show them what's possible in any given language. While reasons look at why we use a particular tense or aspect. And more importantly, it can give teachers more flexibility in their grammar explanations. The teacher can show students how language users make choices about language which often break the rules found in course class books. To help illustrate the difference, let me play around a bit with the author's example from the book. Okay, imagine you're in the classroom and a student asks you the following question. Why is he is owning a car wrong? Aha, you think, I know this one, so you give them a rule. State verbs are used in the present form. We cannot use them in the progressive form. You brush the sweat off your brow as you survive another grammar question. But wait, another student puts their hand up in the air. He's the one who always asks the really tricky grammar questions. You know the type. And he asks, what about I'm loving my job at the moment? That's a state verb, isn't it? You're stuck. It breaks the rule you just said. If you can't think of something quickly, your students will never trust you again. No, but wait. A reasons approach could help you out here. You could say, the writer is using the present progressive because the situation is unusual. It's not normally like this. If you add some context and take it out of the McNugget format, it'll be easier for your students to see the reasons behind the decision of using the progressive aspect. I know I normally go on about how much I hate working at McDonald's, but I'm loving it there at the moment. It's like it's totally a different place. This example should then make it clear for your students why you use the state verb in a progressive aspect. Phew, you survived another grammar grilling. So in class, we want our students to be focusing on reasons rather than rules when making choices about grammar. To practice these skills at home, Norrington Davies suggests replication tasks and transposition writing activities. Replication tasks The aim of a replication task is for students to use the language for a communicative purpose. This is in contrast to controlled grammar practice activities usually found at the end of readings. Instead, learners recreate or reconstruct texts similar to the ones they analyse for meaning. This means students are more likely to produce the target structures from the analysed text. They have to focus on both meaning and form. Some examples of these tasks include reconstructing the original text from memory or with some keywords as prompts. Students create an alternative ending to a story or news report. Students recreate the text from a different perspective, or students personalise the activity. For example, if the input was a childhood memory, then students write a story about their own childhood memory. Transposition tasks. These tasks are communicative again, but instead of reconstructing a text, students are reproducing it in a different style or medium. Note that these tasks, unlike the replication tasks, won't necessarily reproduce the language from the input. Some examples of this kind of task include turning a magazine article into an interview, turning a formal letter into an informal email, or turning the contents of a song into a news report. At home, students could use any form of input on the internet for replication or transposition tasks. Two websites that I suggest would be Newsella, a news-based website where teachers can adjust the level of the article for their students, and Hello English, which has a good range of 1-minute English interviews. To conclude, make sure you're getting your students outside of the classroom using a more free-range reasons approach rather than a McNugget rules-based one. Also, when they're out of the classroom, they could be using a variety of transposition and replication tasks to get the most out of their writing at home. So that's it for today. Could you see your students using a reason-based approach to grammar outside of the classroom? Leave a comment below. Also, remember to like, share, subscribe, and all that other stuff to keep up to date with Pavilion ELT. And next time, we'll be focusing on vocabulary. See you later.